Today's video is sponsored by cointracking.info. As a home crypto miner, I gotta ask, are you monitoring your crypto portfolio? Do you know exactly where you stand? Are you in the green or sadly in the red? Cointracking is a one-stop shop for your crypto asset management. Their automated online platform allows me to view my current portfolio anytime. With Cointracking's robust API system, my exchange and wallet transactions are always pulled in real time. Finally, when it came time for tax season, like this year, I could generate all my tax reports with a few clicks. My accountant was thrilled. Also, if you need professional assistance, there are full service packages available. Cointracking experts can help you to import the transactions, validate and adjust all your data until you have a proper tax report. Use the link in the video description to get a 10% discount for all subscription plans and get an extra 5% for your Bitcoin payments. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, I'm joined by a guest. What's going on, Hawk?
What's up, Mr. Hobbyist Miner? Thank you for having me on, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. So guys, Hawk and I, if you guys have ever watched any of the other community streams or anything like that, I love talking politics. And I know Hawk loves talking politics. So I was like, him and I were chatting the other day and we're like, dude, let's just do something together. And I was like, yo, we want to do politics? And he's like, absolutely, let's do it. So
let's do it.
Today we're talking crypto and politics. And if politics isn't your thing, I'm not offended. Hit that like button, subscribe down below, comment, and then peace out. And I'll see you next time on the next video. But yeah, we're gonna talk politics today, and it may rub some of you guys the wrong way. I know for a fact that Hawk and I are more right-wing leaning, a little bit to the right side of things. And hey, if you're a Democrat or you're far left, it's okay. Like, I get it. All I can do is encourage you guys to keep an open mind and comment down below. I want to hear where you think we're right, where we're wrong, what we're missing. Let's be adults. It's totally open.
Right.
So you ready to jump into this, Hawk, a little bit?
Yeah, listen, I just want to say something. Yeah, I am a moderate politically, but I think financially as crypto miners, we lean right because that seems to be the more favorable in our community, man. So that's all I wanted to. That's just what I want.
Yeah, you know what? And that's very, very true. I mean, I think it's something we're actually seeing in the current current markets right now, just with the current political sphere, where it's like I'm not coming across many left-wing or Democrats even, because I feel like they're two different things now, far left and Democrat, where they're like yay Bitcoin or yay crypto. I think we would we would connect with them a little bit more if that was kind of how they felt. So I think that's actually a good segue into, I got a handful of different topics. We probably won't get to all of them today, but let's talk about the debt ceiling, the current recession. And do you think people, we're right around the corner. We could absolutely hit this debt ceiling, go past the deadline. We could, quote, run into this bigger recession than we're already in. Do you think that we're going to see people retreating to a confidence in crypto and Bitcoin in the next few weeks?
I think so, man. So honestly, I was at BTC Miami, and honestly, I got to touch on this real quick. Robert Kennedy Jr. was there, and he's Democrat. And his speech on Bitcoin was amazing. Like, that's awesome. 100%. So it's nice to see a presidential candidate talk about Bitcoin. But anyway, to your question, yes, the debt ceiling is coming up. Both parties can't seem to agree, which I think is ridiculous because, like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, enough is enough. What's going to happen? I don't know. But today, I know I've been watching the markets and we're seeing a total crash. Like, I think Bitcoin is getting close to that 25K mark, and it's kind of scary. But listen, the truth of the matter is we've always seen it when politicians or, anybody even someone like Jim Cramer, when they say they're bearish on Bitcoin or they get on Bitcoin, we see the numbers just pipe up. So I think a lot of people, as they lose confidence in the US dollar, are going to put more and more into cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. I do believe that, and it's so sad to say, right? Because I love Bitcoin. Very pro Bitcoin, but when people choose Bitcoin over the US dollar, look, bigger picture, we got a problem in the country we got to talk about.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think it's funny how you say like how we're losing faith. I think it's already lost when it comes down to like faith in the US dollar. Like, let's be honest here. The rest of the world sees it. The American people start to see it. And I'll be honest, financially for me, I have more faith in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, than I do in the US dollar, at least right now. Like, I'm not putting extra money into a 401k or in traditional investments. It's just not wise. And on that note, funny story, I have a friend, won't say their name, but they work for the Fed. They work in the Fed, and he's constantly texting me about, like, how he's moved funds into different cryptocurrencies and stuff, because he even has more faith in something like Bitcoin right now, because there's just so much uncertainty into the market. And something like a Bitcoin, which is a safer investment, don't want to say safe, but safer investment. So I can definitely agree with you there. So the current state of crypto right now with the current administration, if you were to summarize it, how would you summarize that?
There's an open attack on every aspect of the crypto industry, including the mining industry. I mean, this is not we need to regulate the exchanges and make it, fair for all. This is like, they want to take a hammer and they just want to come in and smash the crypto glass, and that's the end of it, and sweep it up, throw it in the garbage. This is what they want to do. And look, on the contrary, this might increase the adoption, okay? Because now we got people going to say, okay, look, well, there's uncertainty in the US dollar. We're going to move our money into Bitcoin. What happens there? Bitcoin can hedge against inflation. The numbers are better. The numbers are better. I mean, inflation ran rampant. We understand that COVID was a problem there, and we understand that things, the economy took a huge hit. We're still dealing with the ripple effects, but honestly, man, like, they went crazy with spending. I think the administration prior and this administration both made mistakes, even though I was in favor for the last administration, and policy-wise I was. We see an open attack. We see an open attack right now with this administration. And let me tell you something, like, it's a whole industry. It's $1 trillion industry, I think we could say now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it employs a lot of people. It's expanding. It's giving people more freedoms. I saw a sign at Bitcoin Miami that said, "Fix the money, fix the world, Bitcoin." And I truly believed in it when I saw it. So
yeah,
I think they're at the wrong approach. I think they're in the wrong approach. And we're seeing the difference in the parties, right? Whatever the Democrats do, we're seeing the Republicans do opposite. And that's why we're seeing more Republicans embrace Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and mining. I'm like, hey, look, I met Governor Ron DeSantis. I live here in Florida. I met him. I actually talked to him, and he is pro crypto. And that's good, man. They're actually accepting crypto right now in Florida for payments on some systems.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I was listening to even today when he announced his presidential candidacy on the Twitter space, and Bitcoin came up and crypto came up, and he pretty much summarizing the fact of, like, he's not looking to get into anyone else's pool and play house, and he wants to keep it untouched and allow it to expand and grow. And I like that mindset is where I lean towards. It's like, our current administration is all about policy, procedure, regulation. And the hard part is, and what drives me nuts in just our current, not only our current administration, but even congressmen and women right now, is like, they all want to put regulations and policies in place and taxes in place, but they don't know what crypto is. They can't explain crypto. It's something that's just, it's past their generation. And
100%.
there's a few here and there that stand out, that are stars, that really take the time to understand it. And then when they do, they value it. And they're like, okay, I like this. I can get behind it. If you look at it in the lens as an advancement in technology, it's like, wow, why would we as the US not want to be at the forefront of a new technology? Take out the word crypto, take out Bitcoin, just put technology in there. It's like, we in the US have always tried to be at the forefront of technology. And now we're like, wait, I got to get politics involved first before we talk about technology. But look at, like, AI. AI is a piece of technology that has skyrocketed ahead, and we don't see legislation being like, how do I tax it? How do I regulate it? Yet.
Well, I've said this 100 times now. When AI starts to become mainstream and they see the threats with AI, crypto is going to be put on a back burner. Blockchain tech will be put on the back burner. Crypto on the back burner, 110%. So it's all about control, man. And, like, the AI conversation, dude, honestly, the AI conversation is just wait. I think this, we've seen things from this administration. they're already talking about AI. I think not too long ago I saw a video. The CEO, I believe, of OpenAI was testifying at the Senate, I believe, in front of the Senate. And that was interesting because there's tons of, they need guidelines, man. Because look,
yeah,
what happens when you have a new technology? There's good and there's bad actors, right? And
sure.
bad actors with AI are already out there, you know, stealing people's voices, conning their families,
Yep.
you know, all kinds of stuff that's happening. We should be concerned. We should push for actually regulation in the AI field. I think it poses a greater threat. And I think politically, it's going to pose a greater threat as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not even something I made note of even, or even to talk of, but it's okay. We go down that rabbit hole. That's the nice thing about this format. So I think as time goes on, we're going to see AI and crypto mining come together a little bit closer, especially when it comes to, as a lot of crypto miners look at, like, okay, what's the next version of mining? And it's all that proof of useful work, AI driven type of things. Like, you have Dynex and Flux and other ones out there that they're going to become, you know, very, very close now, because it's going to be like, okay, you're going to have the AI side, but what's driving that? What's providing that computation? Oh, it's the mining behind it, or the high compute power. So yeah, I mean, I think as time goes on, it's really funny how these two things are going to come together. And I'm hoping that as time goes on, the value is seen there versus just crypto is just transactions. It's like, okay, wait, that's not the whole deal. That's just part of it.
Right. Right. You know, I'm always about deregulation, letting the economy flourish, let companies compete, because competition drives innovation. You know, and we've seen that, and we're scratching the surface with blockchain tech, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the government was really, really about furthering our society and technology and stuff, they would be wide open to this, right? I mean, listen, I'm not against regulation in the crypto industry. If a party comes in and they offer regulation, that's cool, but it's got to stop at like maybe the exchange level. It can't move into the custodial level, right? Because then you're telling people what to do with their money. And then you run into a constitutional issue, but we've seen this before. When you give them an inch, they take a mile, and that's why a lot of people are pushing back against the regulators.
Yeah. So a topic I've started to see more and more, and it's, if you look from a 50,000 foot level, you're starting to see it. So when we look at crypto on ramps, and then we look at crypto off ramps, right now within the U.S., I'm personally seeing the SEC is pretty much the bully here, and just eliminating them. Every other day, I feel like I'm seeing, like, this exchange here is folding and this is closing down here. What are your thoughts on that? Because from the 50,000 foot level, and as a crypto miner, it's like, man, my options are starting to slowly become limited, especially within the US.
I think the SEC is, they don't know what to do, right? They see an industry that's not regulated. People are probably making a fortune. They want to come in and say, hey, we're still in charge here. And, you know, I saw something where Coinbase is actually suing the SEC for guidelines.
I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
Tell us what to do, and we'll do it.
When they can't tell them. Can't tell them.
No, they can't. They can't even provide regulatory anything. Like, just give us rules, man. Like, hey, tell us what to do. The majority of people in crypto, okay, that are in the crypto industry, I'm going to say 97.8%. Okay, are good, law-abiding citizens who just want to innovate technology and do the right thing. There's bad actors everywhere, man. There's bad actors everywhere. It is what it is. Bad doctors, there's bad cops, there's bad everything. Okay, bad plumbers, whatever. There's bad everything. You can't focus on for example, there was an article I read that said that they're trying to prevent money laundering. I mean, just a stupid excuse. I mean, crypto
what are we doing at the US dollar level to prevent money laundering? Because
I mean, on. That's what I'm saying. So I read this article, and they give the facts. They say crypto was only responsible for less than 10% of money laundering in the United States. They still do it through cash.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. The art industry.
Yep.
Art is the biggest way to you want to funnel money? I can draw a stick figure on my hand, on a piece of paper, over my hand, right? And hand it to you and value it at $1 million, and it's legal.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're gonna attack crypto where you can literally track every transaction outside of a privacy coin.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I mean, I think it's a real shame where go back several weeks ago and you start to see the SEC going after these different exchanges, and pretty much what they're pressuring is first off on the on-ramp side, and for those of you guys who are not familiar, it's like you're stepping into the crypto space. Okay, what is your introduction there? You want to get on an exchange and you want to buy crypto. So the on-ramp side is like, okay, great. This exchange, let's say you're a foreign exchange somewhere in EU, and they're like, oh, you're working with US citizens. Okay, the SEC wants to get involved. Great, you can do it, but we want to force KYC. And that exchange may not stand for that. And so what we have seen is, all right, this exchange gives 60 days for US residents to get off their exchange because they're no longer offering services to US residents because of this. That's what's occurring. So now you're seeing that start to occur. So what are your thoughts on KYC in that situation?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle here. I mean, when you signed up for other things, you put your information in, right? You signed up for PayPal, put your money in, they know who you are. If you're not, like I said, this comes down to what's your goal here. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you're trying to do the right thing. I think personally, you don't really care about crypto. Now, hold on. Excuse me, you don't care about KYC. Hold on. But I also want to support what these companies are doing, and I want to agree with the government, but I don't want them interfering in my transactions. Like if I hand you $20, right? Why should that transaction be taxed? With crypto, every time you want to move, they want to catch it. So people stay away from KYC because they don't want to report it. If they can treat crypto like cash, right? I don't think KYC would be a problem. I think if the SEC came out and said, all right, look, we're going to treat it just like anything else, capital gains, like stocks and stuff. If they just move it that way and stop arguing about what's a security and what's not, we're seeing that with the XRP lawsuit, things would be a lot easier. I understand why people don't want to use KYC. They go to the exchanges that don't require it, but now it's becoming few and far between. Governments all around the world, not just the US, are cracking down on these exchanges. Pakistan just banned crypto completely in their country.
Wow, I didn't see that. Yeah, that's crazy. I think for me, like when I think about some of these things, I can see both sides of it. When I want to like go back 5 years ago, right? Well before my time in crypto, and like the grassroots crypto side of the world was decentralization and being anonymous. So like no, and that wasn't like, let's put aside the whole like, oh, criminal, like you want to, no, let's just say this is a technology that decentralized and anonymous. So transferring of these funds, cryptocurrency, all of this, I like that. And I think that's actually what pulled me into it, was like, the US government, their hands is in everything. And if not one hand, but two hands, and a great example of that is like their thoughts on taxes when it comes down to crypto. They want to tax you when you mine it, and then they want to tax you again a second time, and it's like, holy cow, like seriously, like it's just it's insane. I don't agree with the current tax laws in the US for crypto whatsoever. But that being said, going back to that comment that I made is like, we've gotten so far away from the original grassroots of cryptocurrency and what it really stood for. And some people say, well, this is required and this regulation is required for it to become a mainstream fundamental currency. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think regulation is required for it to flourish. I think that's where we're headed there, right? So I think all regulation is going to do is allow people to come in and manipulate the markets. I really do think that's what's going to happen. The VC money will jump in. We'll see people buy in and sell, and these macro and micro transactions from these hedge funds. I mean, that's what we see in the stock market, right? We see that now. We see tons of trading because it's regulated. Man, it's like one side of me goes, yeah, I want it to be regulated because I want people to dump money into Bitcoin and get that price all the way up, and we all make money because I'm sure, I have decent amount of money in Bitcoin. I don't have a whole Bitcoin, but one day.
Whole corner. Keep at it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm trying to get there. Definitely want to be one of those people. But on the flip side, I know what comes with that. I know what comes with regulation. Like I said earlier, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And they've done that in a lot of industries. But what also worries me is the instability of government policy.
Yeah.
It changes by administration. In an industry like ours as crypto miners, if you we have a hosting company. So when you look at it from that perspective in business, it's a little unsettling because it's like, okay, who do we look at as the next candidate? What policies are they going to implement? Because right now there was talk about a 30% tax on crypto mining. Like, okay, let me explain why this is unconstitutional in every way. The government can't really come in. Well, he can't do it by executive order. It's got to be passed by Congress. I think it's the 16th Amendment. I think it's the 16th Amendment. So we know that, right? But there's ways around things. And this makes a lot of people nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake, a lot of people lost their jobs, man. And if you think of it on a scale as far as what the government crackdown would be, this whole industry could be destroyed, man. And it's scary. And it's scary,
I think a lot of what the taxes we're seeing goes hand in hand with the misunderstanding of crypto, goes hand in hand with like the SEC. Like it's all part of the point of like, okay, we're gonna tax the hell out of it. One, because we don't understand it, so we're just gonna tax it like crazy, and then two, we need money, so this is a very fruitful industry. Let me just tax the hell out of it, and then maybe people will retreat away from this new technology and go return back to like the US dollar. You know what I mean? Like, it just drives me nuts.
When they said that, there was an article I read about somebody saying, "Oh, we're worried about the emissions of Bitcoin mining." I said, I couldn't believe that this was real. Like I did some research. I said emissions, and this just tells me that they have no idea what they're talking about. Like New York puts a 2-year moratorium.
I saw that
on mining, right? And
unless it's green technology.
Unless it's green. Yeah, unless it's green. Okay. Which again, as crypto miners, that's great. If you can get me a windmill outside that gives me free energy, and I'm cool. Like crypto miners are not against green energy. We're not against green energy. We're against you telling us what to do with the energy. That's what we're against. Is you can't. How are you going to tell me how to use my energy, man? Like
it's another control factor where it's just like
it's just control.
Like, yep, it's exactly what it is. No, I get it. So, all right, pivoting here a little bit on that, and we talked a little bit looking to the next bull run. Many people have speculated, no facts, no nothing behind this, no research, just speculation, that the next bull run will align with the next presidential administration and election. Would you agree with that?
How do you gauge that though?
All right,
I'm serious.
So sure, absolutely.
Question.
Yeah, no. So for me, I'm looking on the Republican side that supports cryptocurrency. Like today, we learned a lot about DeSantis or stuff like that, where I'm excited for that because I'm like, wow, it's almost like cryptocurrency in my mind is like it's ahead of its time. Like the U.S. administration doesn't know what to do with it, so they just want to shit all over it. Versus another administration, my thought is that if things go the way I'm hoping they go, that we will see that some support for this, and then it's like, wow, like because think of it, if all of a sudden today the entire administration just flipped a switch and was like, we're supporting cryptocurrency and this and that and this and that, and here's all these credits. Would you see the crypto market boom, and then it would separate itself from traditional markets? So that's just where my head goes. Like, it just makes my head spin a little bit. But what are your thoughts on some of those things?
Well, we saw the market thing stood out to me for a second because we saw in the early years of crypto that, and understand, I haven't been in it very long, but I've talked to people who've been in it and I've done some research on the matter. We saw a disconnect between the crypto market and the stock market. Now they're closely correlated. That's dangerous because we know who manipulates the stock. Come on, man. Like this is why Bitcoin was created. It was created because of the manipulation and the BS in the stock market. And after 2008, somebody said, I had enough. And they, created Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, or if he's one person or several. So, it's hard to gauge what with the halving coming up next year and the current administration. I know that from purely a political aspect, okay, that the Republicans are financially conservative, usually, right? They're pro deregulation, right? So in our industry, I think the majority of people, whether they like to say it or not, will lean more right financially. You know,
That's a
I
good
was
way to put
talking to
it,
Max. Yeah, I was talking to Max Voltage because he's actually very educated in politics, and you know,
we're gonna bring
crypto
We're gonna bring
miners.
Max on next time we do this. Get the three of us together and
I'm
then talk
telling you,
this through.
he's great. He's great. He says the crypto industry, if you really think about it, aligns with libertarians. He says because if you think about it, he goes, they kind of give you the best of both worlds in that area,
Sure.
right? So, yeah, do I lean right politically? Yeah, because the Democrats have completely and utterly attacked cryptocurrency. There has been no call for regulation. I'm sorry, there has been no call for like trying to find out or ask questions. It's just, hey, get rid of it or nothing. Or
tax it. If I got to
tax it up the wazoo.
Yep.
That would be getting rid of it. You tax it up the wazoo. Nobody wants to do it anymore, and it fades away. Republicans just going, hold on. This is a good industry. It's bringing jobs. It can help stabilize the power grids, which Texas has a problem with that, which is why Senator Ted Cruz is for it. But, you know, it's like I want to say this to like Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, boy.
You want to destroy cryptocurrency. You want to attack mining. Why don't you talk to the community, though? Talk to us. What educates you? There's people like Charles Hotchinson who went to Congress and spoke. I think it went through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, but you have to remember on like someone like Elizabeth Warren and such like that, like there's always an alternative motive behind it. Like they put up these brick walls and these blinders, and I always look at it and I'm like, all right, there's something else driving your decisions that you're making here, because that's just how Congress and lobbying works. It's usually like one thing's occurring in the background to then, okay, where's the truth behind it? So I could definitely see where you're coming from there. I mean, I think for me, like the bull run, the way we look at it and where that returns is like, because, and you're right, the current crypto market, Bitcoin, is almost directly tied to the current stock market now. You know, when it's a green day on traditional stocks, all right, crypto's looking good, which is such it's a double-edged sword. It's a value to show legitimacy, but then it's also like, how amazing would it be that right now during our current recession, and I'll call it what it is, if you had a crypto market that was booming, like it would be insane. Like it would be valuable. It would, you know what I mean? Like to be able 100%. To turn to something else in order to make additional funds to carry you through that recession. Like it would be a beautiful thing.
Right. I think the majority of politicians on the left and some on the right as well think that this is just an avenue for people to evade taxes and countries to evade sanctions. You know, that's a big thing. A lot of people don't think about that. Right. We put sanctions on countries that are doing harm to people and other, you know, like we put sanctions on Russia, right? Well, Russia, how is Russia bypassing the sanctions? They're trading in cryptocurrency all of a sudden, right? After they banned it 6 months prior.
Yeah, now they're like second in the world in Bitcoin mining and completely supporting it.
Right. So, you know, is there bad that always comes out of some things? Yeah, of course. I mean, there's just nothing we can do about that. That's just human nature. It's been like that since our existence. We need to educate. And I know I push this a little bit, you know, when we do like Terahash Tuesday and we do Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live, I push this to politics a little bit because now you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Crypto's in politics. It's what it is. If we don't educate and start pushing out there, we're going to fall behind the 8 ball, and these people who know nothing about it are going to make the rules. Like, again, like the majority of us want to pay our taxes and do the right thing. This is just another industry.
Today's video is sponsored by 𝗟cie_prices.com. 𝗟cie_prices.com is one of my new favorite sites to scope out true profitability and ROI rankings before I make my next ASIC purchase. Check this out. I can simply enter my current electric rate and instantly see what ASICs are best suited for me. On top of that, let's say I want to find what ASIC miner is most profitable to stack Doge and Litecoin. Just select your algo and bam, there is the Bitmain L7. 𝗟cie_prices.com has taken things to the next level. Look at this. When you select a miner, look at all this amazing information. Miner statistics and overviews, historic miner prices, daily and 30-day mining revenue, trusted vendors, and much, much more. Go check out basic.prices.com today.
That's it. We don't want a 30% tax on that. That's not fair. We'll pay our fair share of taxes. The majority of us will. There's nobody trying to evade taxes, man. I mean, the majority of our content, our audience, when's the last time you heard anybody say, oh, I'm in crypto because I want to evade taxes? I've never heard it.
Like, yeah, and I think, to be honest with you, I don't think we will see anything change until the next administration, the next group of individuals representing the American people. I just don't think you'll see that. I think right now it's just us versus them. It's the cryptocurrency, crypto mining community versus these individuals that just want to tax it or ban it. And there's no compromise in between.
No.
And I think the challenge is like, okay, support the technology, which means, give incentives, provide credits, provide programs from the electric side of things to see the value of stabilizing the grid. Be like, oh, you're crypto mining? Great. Here's a credit, or you get X rate because you're helping to stabilize our grid. Thank you. We support you. Keep doing what you're doing. Because guess what? If someone came to me and was like, hey, we'll offer you X, like there's programs with my power company. If they offered that for crypto miners, and then you did that, and then if you sign up for those, then you add some type of visibility from a tax perspective, and you're reporting X, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to report so much, and I have to report it, great, and then I get taxed on it, great. I'm okay with that, because then I'm like, okay, cool. You're scratching my back, I'll scratch yours, type of deal. But when it's like, no, we're going to price gouge the hell out of electric prices, regardless if you're a crypto miner or not. And then, oh, we want to tax you when you mine it. We want to tax you when you sell it. And then on top of all of that, we want to tax you 30%. It's like, come on. Like, I don't want to tell you anything. I don't want to disclose anything. Like, you make me want to go more into the shadows than I already am, because you're just making it, you're literally trying to outlaw it without even saying that word.
Right. And I think, listen, I think if something ridiculous like that came to fruition and it happened, right? I think it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court level, and I think it'd be shot down. I really do, because it's completely unconstitutional. It's
you're talking about the 30% tax,
30% or any like extreme ban or like taxes. Like, I'm sure if somebody fought that 2-year moratorium in New York, I'm sure if it went to the highest level, it'd be shot down, because it's restricting our freedoms. Thank God. A lot of people, we take this for granted as Americans at times, but a lot of people should be really thankful we have a constitution and we have the amendments to the constitution. It gives us so much, ammo to fight some of these things. And yeah, they can say whatever they want politically. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. 9 times out of 10, it's just pandering for votes to a certain 100%. Group of people. And that's really much it. And then in a year from now, nobody cares. And they're moving on to the next hot topic. So, like I said, next hot topic, though, AI, 150%. Just wait. Next year, bull run, crypto's going to do great. No one's going to care. AI is going to be the talk. Watch, I'm telling you. I mean, from the political side of things, it's going to be AI 100%.
Yeah, I think AI will start to become this big, not only buzzword, which it already is. It's already a buzzword, but this red flag, like, as we think of it this way, as we step into the next political race, AI fakes and who said what, and is it real, is it not real? Like, we thought it was bad before. It's going to be insane now. And it's always funny. It's always funny to see these things when they're fake and you can tell they're fake. But there's the technology's out there, and people will literally, like, instead of putting your money if you're running these races, instead of putting your funds into like these commercials that are like, crypto mining believes in XYZ, this is, instead they're going to take their money and put it into these fake AI things in order to defame their opponents. There's no point in doing commercials, because it goes on social media and blows up with AI. Bam. Like, it's insane.
I think that we need to embrace blockchain. We need to further the advancement of it. We need to look, AI is going to have the same problems like anything else. Okay. Yep. There's going to be good people that are going to use AI to fight people using AI for bad reasons. That's just There's going to be good AI versus bad AI, and they're going to be this constant Matrix, Neo, Smith battle. I'm serious, and that's what it's going to be.
The man with the movie references, the Matrix references. Here you go.
No, but you know, man, it's going to be very interesting going into the next presidential race because, like you said earlier, you know, I want to touch on this. We have a generational problem. And we got people who are 80 plus years old still making rules from a generation that barely knows. And I say this just as and with all respect, barely knows how to operate a smart TV. Yep. Like these are people that making rules on cryptocurrency. Like, nah, man, this can't. No. You can't do this. You got to get the people in from the generation, you know, the Gen Zers, whatever. Get the younger generation in there. Get them talking about it, and say, hey, look, no, we want this. We want this. The majority of us want this. Like, what happened to for the people by the people, not for the people for your best interest.
Are you representing, you know, the way that you're supposed to? Like, and I think, trust me, we could get into a whole thing about how, like, I feel the age of representatives is over. Like,
forget
it. It's not even necessary anymore. But we'll talk about that on another one. So, one last topic here. We're about 30 minutes now. And by the way, guys, if you guys have watched this long, awesome. If you guys enjoy this, let us know. We can do this another time, by the way. It's not over yet, but absolutely. So last topic I want to talk to you about is FedNow, bank closures or buyouts, and CBDCs. A coincidence or not?
Yeah, coincidence.
You think so?
Somebody said something to me a long time ago that stuck with me. A lot of what you see during the timing and a lot of what you see in policy sometimes is not a conspiracy or anything stupid. It's just because some people are just dumb.
We look for the lines. Do we look for the lines to connect these things?
You can connect anything if you really want to. I mean, you can overanalyze anything if you want to. You can connect something that happened across the world with over here and find a way to tie it to. Look, I think that CBDCs will never come to fruition. I think so. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when I heard Robert Kennedy Jr. speak at BTC Miami, he was against it. Democrat. It's an educate. And I realized something when I was standing there.
That's so interesting to hear. It's so interesting to hear he's a Democrat too. So
it is. Well, he's a moderate. He's a moderate Democrat, in which they don't, which he's not even, I don't even think he's endorsed by the DNC. Like, I don't even think they
he probably isn't because he's not extreme enough. Like, he's not extreme enough.
No, he's not. And I'm sitting there. The place is packed. And he gave a really good example. God, I can't remember it, but it was a really good example. Guys, you have to watch it. Check it out. Bitcoin Magazine actually posted it. Watch his speech. Starts off a little slow, but he gets really good into it. And it's just, we got to fix... We got to fix this. We can't allow CBDCs, guys. It is a total means of control. It's programmable money. Like
it's China. Like literally, like I hear about it and I'm like, wait, do you not understand how China works? And I think the issue is like the people that are like, oh, I like it, I support it. Take an hour of your time and look up on YouTube how they work in China, where it's like they determine what you can buy, when you can buy it. If you're not spending enough, like they will take your money because it's like, we want you to spend enough so that our economy, it's like, wait, what? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. No, listen, I've looked into this.
Yep.
I've looked into this. I do have friends in China. I talk to them. They say, they do tell me that, you know, you Americans blow it up. It's not as bad as you think it is. Probably because they're used to it.
They're in the simulation already. They don't know the difference.
Right. But they have something. We have something that they don't. And that's a constitution. And that constitution restricts government. Okay. And that's what we want. CBDCs, I think personally, even if it does come out and people start using it, I think eventually it'll get to the Supreme Court level. You know, it'll be shot down, man. I'm telling you, I really do think so. I don't think, because it's a form of control. And if it does come out and it does stay, there's going to be heavy laws and restrictions on what the government can do with it. Is it inevitable to a certain point? I think so. I don't know how long cash is just going to be cash.
Well, and have we destroyed the US dollar to the point where we need to come out with another currency? Because that's where I always go to. It's like, where's the demand for this? Is anyone demanding this? No. No one, like I don't see any strong need for this. This is a substitute. This is not a our society demanding that we need a separate currency to get by.
Right.
No one's like, oh, the dollar, and we even have a separate currency in the US too. Just in the world, we have credit. Like we operate on two different things, really. You know, your US dollar and that credit, and it's like no one's asking for this at all.
Yeah, there's no push for people holding up signs saying we need CBDCs. Like there's no, it's when I see them trying to do something that I don't see a huge cry for.
Yeah.
And it just says one thing to me. It says control. Now the run on the banks, that I just think people are losing faith. I think that's what that is. People are losing faith. It's putting their money, and we see this at every downturn of the economy, right? People put their money in metals. For the first time, we have crypto. And we're not seeing gold shoot up as fast as we are in previous recessions, because people are putting their money in Bitcoin. Because this recession, or I like to call it a self-induced recession, because I think a lot of it had to do with I think a lot of it had to do with the money that we gave out way too much in stimulus payments.
Just the last 5 years. Absolutely. I can see it. Yep.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, what happened a few years ago, the pandemic, it was terrible. It was awful what it did to the world, and people needed money. I'm with it. But you have to know a point where, this is a temporary, and please understand what I'm trying to say, guys. This is a temporary fix. This has got long-term effects.
Yeah.
You start to think differently when you have kids, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, so my son's 3 weeks old. 20 years from now, if I don't, I'm not going to live with regret, man. If it passes, it passes. I'm going to be a voice. I'm going to educate people. There are things that I'm for. Fixing the financial system, it's got to be fixed, man. It's like you said, these people in Congress. I know I'm going in circles a little bit, but the run on the banks, all of this, everything we're seeing is a lack of faith in government. It's a lack of faith in government. Now you got countries getting rid of the dollar as their reserve currency. What's going to happen? The U.S. debt. Now, somebody said to me, the U.S. debt. The U.S. is who they in debt to themselves. We just the debt is the debt. It doesn't. It's more politically used than anything else today, I think, because China doesn't underwrite any debt. That's a bunch of BS. That was a political thing they did back in 2016, 2017. They don't underwrite anything. They couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? The whole world economy is about $220 trillion. The U.S. accounts for about 60 to 65 trillion out of that. If we go down, everybody's going down. So
yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I mean, the CBDC in my eyes is like, okay, we've gotten so far in the hole. Do we need to pivot to something else? It's like, that doesn't mean it disappears or anything like that. Like, what are we doing here? Like, like what?
But if I'm the U.S. government.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
No.
If I'm the U.S. government, I just think, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just got to say this, but if I'm the U.S. government, right, and our enemies, our trading enemies or our financial enemies, whatever you want to call it, if they're banning certain things, you got to pick that up. That's a whole industry. Like the U.S. should be so pro Bitcoin right now and so pro crypto. Dude, our economy would forget it. It'd be crazy. They can make more money if they do it the right way and they tax it the right way and they support the industry. It could bring in billions and billions of dollars in tax revenue. They don't want to do that. It's about control.
It's so interesting. So like, I had a note on this, and we might as well talk about it while we're here. Is that I am starting, like I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, all right, Bitcoin and crypto mining as a whole, let's say mining more specifically, I feel like it's the new marijuana, where like every state is coming out with their own support or laws towards it. When you look at like your Texas and your Florida and places like that, and it's expanding more and more. And when I talk with different people in different states where they're like, oh yeah, Montana, this just passed to support crypto mining. And I'm like, but then you have like, I'm in Pennsylvania, and I just heard the first thing regarding crypto mining came out, and it was regarding like sales tax and stuff like that. Like someone just shot it to me today, and it was like, this is totally marijuana all over again. Just substitute it with crypto mining. It's like all we're doing is saying like this state supports it, this state doesn't. And then you have at this federal level where they're trying to do things, but then you have someone come out like Ron DeSantis in Florida who's like, sorry, we're just not supporting a CBDC. It's banned in my state. And so it's like, I love that. Like I love just being a state being able to come out and being like, I hear you, but I don't agree with you. And that's not going to fly. And so as time goes on, I'm hoping that crypto mining builds up in different states, and does it become a red state thing, or do we have some blue states that support it? That is what I want to see. I want to see blue states supporting crypto mining and coming out with these different programs and stuff, because that would be against the grain. That would totally be against the grain.
100%. And that's why Robert Kennedy Jr. Will never be on the DNC. He won't even be on the ballot sheet. They won't even.
He goes against the norm. Yeah.
He goes against the norm. And look, man, that's why we have freedoms in this country, right? Every state can make their own rules. Every state, effectively has their own constitution. So, they have their own House and Senate. So I'm worried too, though, because I'm worried too much push from the right to the left, depending on what administration's in the White House, is going to cause, it's going to have adverse effects. You know what I mean? We got to come to a healthy compromise as a community, especially content creators. And content creators really need to jump on this. And I'm glad we're doing a video on politics, because this is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about it.
It's like it's like politics and taxes. Politics and taxes. No one wants to talk about when it comes to crypto mining.
And it's sad because, like, I'm a crypto miner, man. I don't care about politics. You have to care about politics, because
this will affect you.
Right. So we have to, but there's things about, like, Robert Kennedy Jr. I don't like. Like, he thinks everybody needs to get, vaccinated and stuff like the things I don't support. You know what I mean? Like, so finding someone we align with is tough, but hey, look, man, education is key. Education's key. And I think if we educate a generation and we show these people the good that can come of it, we support a little bit of regulation. We give a little bit too, right? Because you got to give a little. You can't get everything you want. Regulate the exchanges. Exchanges run rampant, man. They run rampant. There's no regulation.
At the end of the day, we as crypto miners, or let's say you're even a crypto trader, you need an exchange as an off ramp. So, like, that's the central point for everything. So if that's where you take your taxing and stuff, great. The challenge is like, look at some of these exchanges like a KuCoin, who, like, doesn't have KYC, but KuCoin also doesn't liquidate to, like, your bank account. Like, you can't go from KuCoin to a bank account. So you still need some of these regulations to occur. So I do agree with you that, like, as time goes on, we need exchanges to work hand in hand with the US in order to do this, because that's, like, your central focus. Like, and that's where, like, I hear all these things with, like, Coinbase moving out of the US to avoid some of these issues and things like that. And it's like, I don't want that, because it's like, now it's just more and more things are moving out of the US, and then it's less off ramps, because at the end of the day, as a crypto miner, you still need the ability to liquidate to cover your cost.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. And there's so many issues that we need to fix, with crypto, and too many people are just, like, worried about other things. Like I said, at BTC Miami, one person spoke about politics, or two people spoke about politics. It should be, like, one of the main topics of discussion, because like I said, man, if we don't start educating and we don't, create some sort of movement or something to educate people in crypto and what proof of work and what proof of stake is and all the different things that you need to know, we're going to see, it's going to be bedlam, man. It's going to be bad. It's going to crash a whole industry. So
yeah, we have a lot of, like, good actors in the space that are trying to educate Congress people and that are trying to get together. I think what's going to happen is and it's just a theory, over the next year, that you end up getting these crypto mining currency representatives that come and form some type of board or group in order to represent at a level, because I think that's needed. I think it's needed where it's like, okay, we're going to put these people out there and they're going to represent the mining community or the cryptocurrency community. And, like, at the end of the day, I think we're going to need it. I think we're absolutely going to need it, because I think it's like also going to, and the same thing's going to come, just like you talked about with AI. Eventually, you're going to get a group of individuals that is going to represent AI, because I think we're eventually going to need it. You're going to need this type of oversight. And it's like, that's the same thing that applies, but these aren't politicians. These aren't elected individuals. These are, like, volunteers that represent. And I think, eventually we'll get there, which is fine. I'd love a handful to name a few people in the scene that would be like, you're going to go to Congress and Senate and represent the crypto mining, cryptocurrency scene
industry,
because our current representatives are speaking out of their ass when they're trying to talk about crypto. So it's like, and we don't expect you. We don't expect you to be an expert in something that was developed in the last few years and that is so far beyond you. It's like you being able to say, I don't know. Let's talk to this group or this board so they can educate us and talk to us about it. I show so much more respect versus like, let's just ban it and tax it.
Yeah, right now, a lot of the Bitcoin maxis are the ones that are getting to Congress.
Yep.
That's not good either.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that, I'm going to tell you why that's not good.
Go for it.
Because there are so many more projects. I saw this at Bitcoin Miami, man.
Bitcoin's one project. Yep.
Right. It's one project. There are so many projects on blockchain and crypto that can do such great things. You know what I mean? For society and humanity. Why are the... I saw this a lot at, like I said, at BTC Miami, where the maxis are like, oh, Bitcoin or nothing, and everything else is just trash. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me the hundreds of companies that are built on Ethereum's network are trash? They use that whole thing that Ethereum did for years is trash. Yeah. All these other companies, like what Cardano and what these other projects are doing, everything's trash. Like, it's just so ignorant to say.
It's one of the reasons I didn't go to Bitcoin 2023. It was like, I love Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's awesome. Like, I'm stacking Bitcoin more than anything else. But as a miner, I'm looking at all different projects. And I think that's why, for me, I'm most excited for mining Disrupt, because it's like, everyone there is a miner. The project is the second part of this passion. And I think that's what's most exciting. And the fact that we'll have manufacturers there from all different algorithms out there and all different projects out there, which is, I think, awesome. So then the whole purpose of it is like, literally, you could call it proof of work Disrupt. Like, it's literally just, that's all it is. So I think that's why I'm most excited for it.
Yeah, I think having, like you said earlier, you know, like every major union has got like a like a representative. Like the police have the PBA, right, or the FOP, and the electricians union and plumbers union. What about a union for miners?
Yep.
Crypto miners. What about a union for people who deal with crypto who may be targeted unfairly by legislators? A little bit of a fight back. What about this?
Yeah.
Like, is this something that we can talk about? I mean, I'm sure there are many crypto mining companies and traders that would pay like a small fee to be a part of a major thing for a little bit of legal. Well, we do it as police officers.
Representation there, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. You're not only
where's the community here?
You're not
where's everybody?
No, you're not only getting represented at that Senate level, but then even down to like representing you from like a your power company to be like, well, they're part of this group. I mean, it almost reminds me of like farming. Like, I'm in Pennsylvania, so a lot of farms. So you have like farming cooperatives where it's like they're able to negotiate all these things and have all these things. And I even learned, and I can't believe I wrote this off, I need to circle back to it, is like there are actually cooperatives locally when it comes down to electric. So like, and then what happens is they sell that to, they take that business to one electric company, and as like 50 people, you say, this is how much electric we use. What can you give to me as a rate? Versus me as a little home miner, you know, trying to get it. So I need to circle back to that, because that's kind of like what that is, but for electric. Like, it's like, holy shit, if I can tag on with a bunch of these big businesses and they get a 4-cent rate, holy cow, like, awesome. So yeah. All right, so we are at 52 minutes right now, guys.
That's a long one.
I was like, I'm gonna try to cap Hawk at 30, and then I'm just as bad. I'm just as guilty. So listen, guys. I hope you paused the video and commented a million times, because my goal was to talk about as much as I could within this segment. It wasn't like a one topic deal, because that never lasts. So hopefully you paused it, you commented on different things. The biggest thing for Hawk and I to know is, like, if you like this and like, hey, I want to see this again, let me know. I don't mind getting together with Hawk once every 2 weeks. Once a week's a little too much. Can't get together with Hawk that often. It's too much. But once every 2 weeks. That's right. Once every 2 weeks, we're good. Maybe once a month, we're good. And we could definitely just rehash this stuff, see how things are progressing. It would be a lot of fun. But yeah, Hawk, I appreciate you coming on. Guys, I'll leave links to his channel. 99% of you guys know who this guy is. You follow him already. But if you don't, I'll put a link directly down below. Please go over and follow him. Hawk, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it.
Obvious, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I enjoy it. You know, I rant. You got a Hawk rant.
Rants are good.
It is, man. Rants are
I like
great.
Rants. Rants are
Thanks,
cool.
my
All
brother.
right, guys. Well, for myself and Hawk, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Where are my GPU miners at? I'd like to introduce you to hobbyistminers.store. Who can turn down a high quality t-shirt with your favorite NVIDIA graphics cards in a simplistic design? The spring 2023 collection just dropped a few weeks ago with 17 brand new limited edition designs. What makes them limited edition? Well, every 3 months a brand new collection is released and their previous one is decommissioned forever. It'll never be sold again. Stop on over and check out your favorite GPU mining t-shirts at hobbyistminers.store today.